Hello YouTube, Elmas to show off here, and I have for you guys today a really good Showdown replay that I had against my buddy, my good friend actually, IPlayTennisLOL. Some of you guys may know who he is if you're active in the NU room and play the suspect ladder, because you may have faced him or seen him in the NU room. And just, yeah, as I said, this was a really good match, so of course if you guys do enjoy it, then make sure to hit the like button down below and let me know. Also, I know that I said I didn't want to post Showdown replays very frequently, but I actually have a good amount of good battles backed up, so let me know in the comment section below if you guys wouldn't mind Showdown replays being uploaded a little bit more consistently. So yeah, I mean, there are good matches, as I said, but again, I don't really want to spam them to you guys, and just, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of iffy on it, so let me know what you guys think of that. And just, yeah, anyways, looking at team preview, I believe this is a team that Tennis just made, and he wanted to test it out against me, and as I said, it did turn out to be a really good match. So looking at team preview, easily the biggest threat I saw was going to be Hariyama, because if you guys missed the PS Live that I did with this team, which if you did, a link to that will be down in the description, so you guys can check that out after the match. Fighting types are a bit of a problem to me, because as you can see, I don't have anything that resists fighting, so Hariyama could definitely be a huge problem, especially if it does turn out to be Guts, because I do actually carry Will-O-Wisp on my Pyroar. But if he turns out to be Thick Fat, then after I burn it with Pyroar, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Kabutops, if it sets up a Swords Dance, could actually sweep through my team after Tennis weakens it a little bit, so I really have to prevent that from happening. Rotom Fan, if he is Scarfed, which 9 times out of 10 they are normally Scarfed, he will be able to outspeed my entire team. So those were really the three main things I was watching out for. Jinx was kind of a threat. It really depended on what kind of set it was, and then Vileplume and Steelix weren't a problem to me because I have a lot of Mons. I have a good majority of Mons that can take on Steelix and Vileplume, so I really wasn't worried about those. The main things I had to watch out for were Swords Dance Kabutops, Scarf Rotom, and then Guts Hariyama. But yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the battle. So he's going to be leading off with his Rotom, as I'm going to be leading off with my Pyroar. Now normally Pyroar can easily take any move that Rotom wants to go for, so predicting Tennis to want to go straight for the Volt Switch, I decided to actually go straight for the Will-O-Wisp. But considering the fact that he hard switched directly into his Hariyama, had me thinking that maybe he's not Scarfed. However though, I do have a Rhydon, so there is a chance he was predicting me to switch into Rhydon on the Volt Switch, which would answer why he double switched or why he switched directly into Hariyama. As I'm able to burn this thing, this is really good for me, as I'm going to bring in my Prinplup, and judging for how much damage the knockoff did, I definitely know that he is not Guts, which means his Hariyama has now become no longer a threat to me. As he brings in the Jinx, I do predict that, and I'm going to be able to Toxic him, which is going to be really good for me, because now I'll be able to get that nice little bit of residual damage. And I have pretty much a perfect switch in the form of my Malamar, because I am especially defensive. I can take any move that this Jinx wants to go for, and if it really wants to stay in and start going for Nasty Plot, then I do have Sleep Talk, so I could hopefully Sleep Talk a knockoff and finish off the Jinx. As he actually switches directly into the Rotom, I'm going to hit him with the Superpower, which does a pretty nice amount of damage, and then I'm going to switch into my Pyroar, hoping that he would just go for the Air Slash and it wouldn't be a 2-hit KO, but no, that did a solid 40, not 40, but a solid 54% amount of damage. So now I'm going to be forced to switch out as I bring in my Articuno. I know that I can take any move that Rotom wants to go for, and because he hard switched out this turn, I'm thinking, okay, he's definitely Choice Scarfed, which means it's not going to be that big of an issue, but I'm going to have to predict better around it if I do want to be able to win this match. And I believe I do just end up going for a substitute, predicting him to switch out as he brings in the Hariyama. This part's going to be a little bit fast, because what my original plan was to stay in, go for substitute him until eventually he runs out of them, until he runs out of close combat, sorry. And then I could just hopefully roost up, get behind his sub, while being able to finish off this Hariyama, because after pressure, he only has about 4 close combats. He's already gone for 2. However though, I didn't want to be a pleb, so I decided to go straight for the Hurricane, because Tennis is my friend, and Articuno behind a sub pretty much would have destroyed him at that point. Although he did have Steelix, I still would have been able to get off a good amount of damage with the Freeze Dry. As I bring in my Rhydon, freaking Tennis turns out to not be Choice Scarfed and bluffed it very well, and completely destroys my soul with Hidden Power Grass. My original plan was to just go for Stone Edge, hoping that he would switch right into Vileplume, and then I could get off about 50% amount of damage on Vileplume, then switch out into my Articuno to take it better one-on-one. But no, my soul just gets utterly destroyed by Hidden Power Grass, and now because I know he's not Scarfed, I get a free switch into my Pyroar. Even though I am Flame Plate, Pyroar is a monster, and I will be able to finish off the Rotom with the Fire Blast as he brings in the Kabutops. I still have use for my Pyroar, just because, as you can see, outside of this Kabutops, Vileplume gets destroyed by Fire Blast, Jinx gets destroyed by Fire Blast, and so does Steelix after a bit of prior damage if he is especially defensive. So I decided to switch directly into my Prinplup, basically as Death Fodder. He gets a crit, which honestly does not change the outcome of this match, as I'm going to be able to bring in my Articuno. I can just basically go for a Freeze Dry without really having to fear anything. Even if he switches right into Steelix, again, it will still be taking a good amount of damage, as he's going to bring the Steelix this turn. I believe I do just end up going for the Substitute, thinking that he may go for the Rocks, predicting me to switch out. And the fact that he got up Rocks is actually kind of bad for me, because with my Pyroar only being able to switch in once to Stealth Rocks, I really have to be careful with it. So I'm just going to leave in Articuno basically for Death Fodder, just so I can get a free switch into my Pyroar. However, though, I decided to bring in my Sock just because I didn't want to risk missing Hydro Pump. So I'm going to go ahead and go, not Hydro Pump, sorry, I didn't want to risk missing Fire Blast. I can't speak English, as I'm going to be able to 2KO Vileplume. He switches into the Jinx. It doesn't really matter what happens here, because I do still have this Malamar, and once he knocks out my Malamar, I can just bring in my Pyroar and hopefully just be able to click Hyper Voice and knock out the Vileplume. And then even if I miss Fire Blast on the Steelix, at the amount of HP that he is at, a close combat will be able to finish him off. So yeah, at this point, the battle's basically over, and if it does really come down to it, I can just use his Vileplume for setup fodder with my Malamar. So just, yeah, these last couple turns really aren't that efficient, because, yeah. So, as I said, in my opinion, this was a pretty good match, just because Tennis is a quote-unquote respected player in the community, and it wasn't a bad battle. He made some good plays, I made some good plays, I made some questionable plays, Tennis didn't make such questionable plays, and in the end, it turned out to be a really good match. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, then make sure to hit the like button down below. Of course, your support is more than appreciated, and with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. So, later, everybody.